Tennis is considered by some to be a softer sport, but judge not lest ye be judged, America, because the truth is, men's tennis is actually far more manly and less homoerotic than pretty much all the other popular sports that are typically considered to be macho. So think about this. As a man playing tennis, you are completely separated from the other man. There's actually a physical barrier between the two of you. In terms of balls, you are actively swatting them away from your body and your face. It's like you're saying, I don't like these balls. You deal with these fucking balls. You're deflecting balls in a sanitary fashion using a special instrument that's designed to keep them at arm's length. Now, if you compare that experience to American football or to rugby, you immediately see the difference. With those tough guy sports, you've got man-on-man, full-touch action. This is highly organized and highly coordinated manhandling with a primary focus on the direct physical manipulation of balls with the hands. For the 2022 Super Bowl halftime show, they did a retrospective looking back on all the men who have cradled balls with such firmness and yet with such finesse over the years. These were men who sacrificed their health. They spent the majority of their careers desperately trying to keep their hot hands on those balls. Of course, when you're dealing with actual testicles, you want to minimize heat so as to keep up the sperm count. I recently had my own sperm analyzed, and it's always nerve-wracking when the doctor starts to read off the results for something like that, for some testing. First, he told me the volume of goo was acceptable. Acceptable, but not great. It's borderline bottom end of the normal range. So my loads are not large, but there is enough. There's enough of it. Next up, he talks about sperm count, which turns out to be good. So feeling a sense of relief here, you know. But in the back of my mind, I'm aware of this other concept about sperm called motility, you know, the motion. But it turns out the motility is also good. So I must be in the clear, right? Am I in the clear? Am I in the clear now, Doc? No, because it turns out there is a fourth and lesser known, although equally important, sperm attribute, and it's called sperm morphology. And apparently mine is not good. The morphology, I guess, has to do with the physical appearance of the sperm. So if you have bad morphology, it means that you have a lot of weird looking sperm, which I didn't even know was a thing, that you can have ugly sperm. And, I have them. So to recap, I've got enough load, barely. I've got enough sperm in my load. They're energetic, but they're ugly. They are dancing around in large enough numbers, but they just don't look right. This is similar to what you might see at an insane clown posse festival. Now, when you have an ICP concert going on in your ball sack, one way to increase the odds of a viable pregnancy is with IVF, in vitro fertilization. They can pull out that single Brad Pitt sperm, and they can use that one good one to fertilize the egg. Now, I don't know why Brad was at the ICP concert. It's not really his scene, but maybe he was passing through, or maybe it was some kind of a make-a-wish situation, fulfilling the dream of a very special but ill-favored young sperm. But regardless of why Brad was there, if you do end up with one or more viable embryos, you can decide to freeze them. And when a couple goes that route, they have to answer several multiple choice questions on this little form, including one which is along the lines of, what should be done with the embryos in the untimely event that both you and your partner pass away. This is heavy stuff. You can opt to dispose of the embryos, you can put them up for adoption, or you can donate them to science. And that last one, I think what that last one really means is they'll get shipped to a stem cell laboratory, probably somewhere down Mexico way, and they'll end up getting injected into the shoulder of Mel Gibson's father. So by choosing science, you are enabling Mel and his dad to play tennis again, which they love to do because they're manly men and they hate balls.